Hello and welcome to Reaction Check. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are watching Raja Raja Chola history. आप देख रहे हैं Reaction Check. Now the video we are going to watch also describes or discusses Aditya Karikalan death mystery and Raja Raja Chola secrets. Now, a lot of you who are watching this video perhaps speak the Tamil language and know more about this than I do. This would be a very good video for me to understand and learn more about this great king of the south of India. There's a lot of history that I've read about the northern Indian history, which were the Mughals, the Ashokan Empire, Chandragupta Maurya, and the Mauryans, and a few others. But there's very little that I know about the South Indian rulers or the South Indian kings. I did watch a series on the history of the Tamil language and the Tamil civilization. I'll put the link somewhere here to all those episodes. Maybe you can take a look at it and try to see what I learned from those videos. But let's jump into this one and see what we have, because I'm actually excited to watch this and learn more about the great king of the South.
What is the mystery behind the construction of the massive Thanjavur temple? What is the mystery behind Raja Raja Chola's brother Aditya Karikalan's murder? Above all, who was Raja Raja Chola?
Okay, I'll put the link to the channel that I'm watching this video from. Perhaps you can go there and watch the original video as well. That will really help that
Raja
channel.
Raja Chola I is the single most valiant and famous Tamil king of all time. Over the history of Tamilagam, Chola kingdom's capital moved from Kaveri Pumbattinam to Urayur to Thanjavur. The revival of the Chola dynasty happened in the 9th century AD, with Vijayalaya Chola defeating the Pandya feudatories, Muttarayars, and capturing Thanjavur. Raja Raja Cholan was one of the medieval Cholas who ruled around the 10th century AD, with Thanjavur as his capital.
Okay.
Around 947 AD, Raja Raja was born as Arulmozhi Varman to father Sundara Chola and mother Vanavan Mahadevi. He had an elder brother Aditya Karikalan and elder sister Kundavai. Upon ascension to the throne as a king, Arulmozhi Varman became Raja Raja Chola. Inheriting a kingdom that was relatively a small territory, he converted it into a massive empire that included the countries of the Pandyas and Cheras as well. He was hailed as Mummudi Chola because, in a way, he wore the crowns of the three empires of Tamilagam. His empire also included northern Sri Lanka and the Maldive Islands in the Indian Ocean. The ascension of Raja Raja to the throne came after many interesting twists and turns. After his great-grandfather Parantaka I's death, Parantaka's son Gandharaditya ruled for a few years. However, after his death, his son Uttama could not rule as he was too young to become a king. So Gandharaditya's younger brother Arinjaya started ruling. He died soon after as well. However, the chance to rule did not go back to Uttama. Instead, Arinjaya's son Sundara Chola became the king. Even after Sundara Chola, the turn was not going to go back to Uttama, as his son Aditya Karikalan was made the crown prince. But Aditya Karikalan was mysteriously murdered, leaving way for his younger brother Raja Raja to rule. However, Raja Raja chose to step aside for his paternal uncle Uttama to rule. Uttama Chola started ruling, and upon his death, finally in 985 AD, Raja Raja became the king. Sundara Chola, during his rule, defeated the Pandya king Veera Pandya in 2 battles. In the second battle, chasing Veera Pandya, his son Aditya Karikalan beheaded him. The murder of Aditya Karikalan is shrouded in mystery. Was it Uttama Chola who conspired to kill the crown prince so that he could ascend the throne? Or was it an act of revenge by the Pandyas for killing Veerapandya? Or was it Rajaraja himself behind this?
I mean,
As per the
because of-
Udayar Kudi inscriptions in today's Kattumannar Koil in Kadalur district, it is clear that the culprits who murdered him were three brothers, Soman, Ravidasan and Parameswaran from the Chaturvedi Mangalam village. The murder was plotted in the Pandya kingdom as a revenge for Aditya Karikalan's gruesome killing of Veerapandya. One of Rajaraja Chora's first major victories was at Kandalur Salai in Virinjam in Kerala. He then continued on to defeat the kings of Venadu, Kollam and Kodungalur and annex these regions in Kerala. He also captured regions of today's Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, defeating the western and eastern Chalukya kings. After defeating the Pandyas, Rajaraja was hailed as Pandya Kula Shani, and he renamed the Pandya country to Rajaraja Mandalam. Rajaraja Chola had a standing army and navy. His empire was very efficiently organized and administered. He initiated a project of land survey and divided the Chola Empire into 11 provinces called mandalams. And each of the mandalams were divided into smaller Valanadus, which were further divided into nadus. The officers from each Valanadu was responsible for the revenue collection from that area. In a naval expedition, Rajaraja defeated Mahinda V of Sri Lanka and destroyed Anuradhapura, the ancient Sri Lankan capital. He renamed the city of Pollanaruva as Jananadapuram and established as the capital of his Sri Lankan province. He also named this new Chola province as Mummudi Chola Mandalam. He built numerous temples there, including the Vanavan Mahadevishwaram, a Shiva temple named after his queen, which stands strong even this day. Rajaraja Chola constructed the most magnificent Peruvudayar Kovil or Brihadishwara temple of Tanjavur that stands tall since over 1,000 years. But the construction
That's
of the
amazing.
temple is an unresolved mystery. The entire temple was built using tons of granite rocks, but Tanjavur does not have a mountain or a rocky hill at least 60 kilometers around it. The magnificent Vimana or the temple tower is 216 feet high, but it was built merely by interlocking the stones without the usage of any building material such as cement.
like
The massive
pyramids, right?
capstone on top of the tower sits on a single block of granite weighing about 80 tons. But how was it placed so high on a hollow tower? It is believed that a really long ramp was laid and the stones were pulled up by fleets of elephants. The temple is nothing but an architectural miracle. Rajaraja Chola sought the help of the priest Nambiyandar Nambi to recover the Shaivite poems of the Bhakti movement from the 7th century and organize them as the holy Shaivite anthology, the Tirumurai. There is inscriptional evidence that the Tamil Tirumurais were recited in the Brihadishwara temple since the 10th century. Before Rajaraja's period, Shiva temples only had idols of gods in them, but it was him who first placed the idols of the 63 Nayanmars inside the temples. Ponniyin Selvan, the masterpiece from novelist Kalki Krishnamurti, revolves around the life of Rajaraja and the mysteries surrounding the death of his brother Aditya Karikalan. Till this day, Rajaraja's life continues to inspire
Shivaji
historians,
Ganesh.
writers, movie makers, and many more. Rajaraja had many children. The most famous among them was Rajendra Chola through his queen Vanavan Mahadevi. He also had a daughter by the name Kundabai. Raja Raja will stand tall in the minds and hearts of people for his massive military achievements and monumental architectural works. Raja Raja Chola.
The movie, or some, there are some videos that I watch about the architecture or the temples built in India, and most of the temples that were described in South, one of that temple was the one that actually was built during Raja Chola's time, and it still stands today. And the pyramids are also a mystery how they were built, and this is also a mystery how this was built. But the truth is that a lot of these kings, leave a legacy. They leave a lot of things for the people. This was, I think, very general information about how magnificent the king Raja Raja Chola was. But at least I know now something about the king, and I can do a lot more research on based on what I have actually found out. While this was actually playing, I was thinking, what if, we watch Game of Thrones and we watch a lot of different series. What if there is a TV series that actually, replays or relives all these events or all these moments in a nice manner, in Tamil language, bringing back the old civilization, bringing back all the old, costumes and all those things. That will be really interesting to actually experience. I hope it happens someday during our lifetime. We get to see this, but this was great. I mean, I would love to know more about this. And if you want to share some interesting facts about this king with me, I will definitely go and check on Wikipedia and other places, but you can always put them in the comment section. I would love to know more about this and see what is going on. And also you can go to the channel that actually made this video, show some love there, and perhaps that will encourage the guy to make more such videos. Thank you so much for making this one a special video. Thank you so much for watching this with me. Until next time, take very good care of yourself. Adios.